talking, I couldn't say to them that he was ill. You know, that was a big secret. So I said to them, oh, you know, what are you waiting around for, you know? So they started telling me. Now, one of the things that happened was they had Murray the K, who was an absolutely obnoxious person. But anyway, Brian, in his ignorance of this country, had made an exclusive arrangement with Murray the K that he would have exclusive access to the Beatles. So all these other guys were outside the door, all these other DJs, and they were saying to me, you know, we'd like to be able to talk to one of them because we have 40,000 postcards that have been sent in for people wanting to win tickets to go to see the Beatles. And so they were saying, you know, come and look at all these postcards and, you know, see what we've been doing. We've been doing a great job on promoting them. So they said, you know, come to the radio station with me. So I went inside and I said to George, okay, I think I can get rid of these guys from outside. So I said, they want me to go to the radio station with them and, you know, see all these postcards. So back in those days, as you saw on the back of my book, I could have been described as a hottie, I guess. But anyway, George said to me, oh, he said, well, you can't go off with a bunch of guys that you don't know. So I said, well, it's okay because they're good guys. So he said, well, how do you know? I said, well, it says so on their t-shirts.
MCA good guys. They wouldn't lie about that. They wouldn't make that up. They wouldn't print that if it wasn't true, right?
I was so naive in those days, you know. Anyway, I went off with them, and the thing that happened was, they immediately got me on the air talking, and I've never ever done anything like that before. But I was telling them all about all the things that were happening, except the part when George was sick, you know. But anyway, after I'd been there on the air for about an hour, actually the station manager came in and said, forget about doing the station breaks, forget about the commercials, forget about the ID things, announcements. He said, just keep talking. So he said that we've got over 1 million people listening at the moment. So anyway, we just kept on chatting. Then I looked at the clock at one time and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to give George his next medication. So I said to them, look, I need to call my brother, you know, at the hotel. So they gave me the phone and I called him, you know, got right through to his room and everything. And I told him, you know, take this medication. So he was telling me, well, I just had the Hall family had just come and given me a 12-string Rickenbacker. And that was something that he wanted because John had one, you know. So he was really thrilled about that. So he was, you know, talking to me on the phone, and then one of the guys said to me, you know, can we just speak to him for a moment? So I said, okay, you know. So put him on the phone, and he talked to the guys for a few minutes, and he actually played a few notes on the guitar and sang a couple of notes, you know, because his throat wasn't too good. But anyway, unbeknownst to me, they recorded that part, George's little conversation with them. And so this is the WMCA Good Guys.
The Good Guys.
The WMCA. And so since they had been, you know, completely ostracized and not allowed to speak to the Beatles, they had this little tape of him now. They had a few words that he said, and a couple of notes on the guitar. So they played that every hour on the half hour, that whole weekend.
Yeah, well, it's an exclusive new Beatle music that no one else has.
Yeah.
Right?
And so they were thrilled. But then Murray the K got real angry and, you know, started yelling at Brian about it.
Right.
And then Brian just totally cut me off because I had done something.
Oh.
I had, you know, messed up his scheme. And,
oh boy.
But the thing was, it was a sensible thing to do.
Sure.
Because every radio station in New York was playing them.
Right.
And why should Murray the K get the whole exclusive, you know? So I think I did the right thing, even though I didn't know what I was doing.
Well, what do you think? Louise, before we talk about current family business,